Hello and welcome back to some more Genshin Impact. So I'm going to be continuing the Aranara quest with the Sprouting Seedlings quest. It wants me to go to the garden cared for by Aranara. So let's go over there now. It's right nearby. And see precisely what I'm supposed to do. I think that's probably, Aranara right there. It's Aranara! Made it back to Vanarana and with an unknown Aranara! Nara, Aether, and Paimon, the Verona contraption has been healed. Aranara can now focus on the nursery. This is Arakara. Aranara and Arakara tend to the Vanarana nursery together. This is the nursery that Aranara always talks about. Yes, the soil here was originally suitable for growing things and can grow happy Viparias. Huh. Are there unhappy Viparias? They are not unhappy, just not as happy. Huh. It's like having soil that's suitable for growth, and there's no lack of rain and sunlight, and no obstacles to growth. There seems nothing to be unhappy about, but also not anything to be very happy about. Okay. Feels plain and ordinary. So, is this place different from the other places? The soil in Vanarana, all very good. But here is particularly good. And more importantly, Arakara and Aranara will look after them. Look after? In what way specifically? We'll play music to them and compliment their beauty. Is this the difference between wild and domesticated Viparius? Paimon can relate. It's hard not to be happy when there's a pleasant music to listen to every day and be praised daily for your beauty. Right, just like Paimon. Before Paimon was fished out by Aether, Paimon wasn't unhappy, but not that happy either. After Paimon started traveling with Aether, we've met with many difficulties, but when Paimon is happy, Paimon sometimes feels extra happy. Paimon is quite right. Arakara is going to make beautiful lights with the happy Viparius for Festival Utsava. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that name correctly, Viparius. Anyways. Since Aranara is also back, we should hurry and get started. The seeds of Viparius. Do Viparius have seeds too? Viparius is the Earth's balderdash, is what the Earth remembers in dreams. That seed. Viparius has no seeds. Huh? But how do you have a nursery without seeds? Could Aranara have some Aurora Kalari that can grow Viparius out of the thin air? No, Paimon is wrong. To make the nursery grow Viparius, Vasmurti is needed. Of course it is. What now? Vasmurti. How do you say that? Vanarana will remember everything. So, with Vasmurti, the Earth will remember again in a dream. The nursery will also birth happy Viparius. Oh, then this Vasmurti can only be obtained by Aranara. So does that mean Aether and Paimon have no chance to grow Viparius in the nursery? The Golden Nara helped Aranara and other Aranara. The Golden Nara is Aranara friend, so Aranara and Nara Aether will cultivate Viparius together. Let Vasmurti sink into the soil and Viparius will be birthed. Nara Aether, try it. You follow what Aranara said and let the Vasmurti sink into the soil? That's it. It doesn't seem to be any different from growing other plants. Put the seed in the soil, then wait for the seed to grow. Vasmurti is not a seed. Okay. Speaking of which, the nursery still has a lot of space left. 1, 2, 3... Whoa, there are 12 spots for growing Viparius. Do you have more Vesmerti Aranacula? Used to, but not anymore. Need to collect again. Outside the dream world, there are 12 nurseries that condense Vesmerti. With them, the Vanarana nursery will be full of Viparius. Festival Utsava needs lots of Viparius, and Vanarana has a lot of them. But if there are more happy Viparius, Aranara will be happy. Nara, Aether, and Paimon will be happy too. In that case, let's help collect Vesmerti. But how do we collect this thing? Arakara just said earlier that it's in the nursery outside of the dream world. Golden Nara still need to traverse the land of the nursery. Once is okay, too many times, no. Only one trip is needed, and then the nursery soil will bear Vesmertis, like dew that gathers on the leaves in the sunrise after a night of rain. Paimon doesn't get it at all. But based on the experience of dealing with Aranara before, when we find the nursery outside the dream world, we should be able to know what Aranacula is saying. Well, then we should look around and when we find a nursery. Oh, this is wonderful. Some more crazy stuff going on here. So, where do they want us to go specifically? Let's talk to Aranacula. Thanks to the help of Golden Nara and Paimon, Viparius are happier than ever. About Viparius. Golden Nara, do you want to sing to Viparius? Aranacula wants to hear the Golden Nara sing, and Viparius would like the Golden Nara's voice too. But Nara Aether can't stay. Can I do anything right now? Oh, I can place stuff. Let me see. Okay, I have one. So, and I don't have any more. Where do I find these exactly? Okay, I am officially confused as to what I'm supposed to be doing with the Aranara quest. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and continue Tighnari's story quest.
Anyway, so the contaminated region turned out to be a ley line effluence deep in the forest. Things are already getting back to normal.
I see. Thank you for your hard work. Once the excess ley line energy dissipates from the air, we should be able to make an announcement for residents to resume their normal activities. This is the stipulated reward. Please accept it.
After leaving the Adventurers Guild, Paimon takes you to a quiet place.
Is Karkata going to be sent back to the Academia? It's already damaged, but Paimon feels sad thinking about it getting disassembled.
Me too.
Oh, then how about we find Tighnari tomorrow and ask him not to do that? Paimon really wants to go right now, but Tighnari said that we would discuss matters tomorrow. We'll probably make him mad if we go now, huh?
Probably.
Alright then, we'll find Tighnari tomorrow and tell him not to disassemble Karkata.
Sounds like a plan. Do we have to fast forward time? Yeah.
How are you feeling? Sleep well? We should go find Tighnari. How do you think we should ask him?
Probably by just saying, please don't disassemble Karkata? I don't know.
Tighnari!
Shh, keep your voice down. The lilac daphne, a daphne of the genus Thameliaceae, has a strong anticonvulsant effect, can be made into an anesthetic powder. Extrapolating from these two datasets, it would be particularly potent against Piscine species. Hey, make sure you're getting all this down.
Yep, he's talking to Karkata.
Karkata?
Oh, I thought I told you all to keep your voices low. Plants aren't afraid of noise, but your shouting is making my ears ring.
You didn't disassemble Karkata?
Why would I do that?
But Paimon thought you said, according to the Academia's policies...
So that's why you two barged in like barbarians at this hour. Fine. I suppose I wasn't clear enough about this yesterday.
He should have known that he wasn't clear, but he was doing it on purpose. He had to have been.
What I meant was, according to the Academia's policies, all products of research must be destroyed. That's why we can't let the Academia discover that place.
So the real reason you stayed back was to...
Anyway, the first thing I did was repair Karkata. During my time at the academia, I took an elective course at the Spantama. Who knew it would prove useful one day? We then buried Abatui together. After organizing the research materials, I kept some as a souvenir. Most of it was burned to hide the evidence. I'm not with the academia, so what do their policies have to do with me? On the other hand, I am the forest watcher of the Avidya forest. I have a duty to protect all life in the forest. All life brought forth in this world has meaning, and Karkata is no exception. If it exists, then it shouldn't be carelessly abandoned or destroyed.
That's great! Wait, you just said life form. You recognize Karkata as a true living being now?
The possibility exists, is all. It's hard to explain Karkata's efforts to repair Abatui. Abatui only left behind a small portion of his research. Who knows how many commands he installed? Maybe a conflict between all those commands resulted in this sort of behavior. From a more rigorous perspective, it is impossible to conclude that Karkata is a real life form. But the possibility exists. I am willing to believe in that. By the way, I'm not interested in continuing research on this subject. I'm just letting it hang out here because this place is relatively secluded. But as things stand now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make it my research assistant. At the very least, it can record my experiments. What do you think?
Okay, cool. Oh, and Tighnari's story quest is done. Cool. I was not expecting it to be done that quickly. I mean, I thought I would finish in this video, though. Let's talk to him again.
When people at the academia included me in a group photo, they would also send me a copy. I have zero interest in group photos, but I also wouldn't just throw them away. I stored them all in a box. After coming back yesterday, I looked through them and found one with Abatui. I gave it to Karkata, and it seemed happy. That's good enough.
Neat. So this is the photo? The photo that was put aside. Huh. One of the many group photos, Tighnari always has the same expression and doesn't seem to be interested in taking pictures. Is that the only picture? Or is there more? Party saw... Let's talk to, Oh, there's another one over here. The photo next to Karkata. Huh. Cool. A photo of Tighnari and Abatui. Abatui had a bright smile in this one. Let's talk to Karkata, even though all it does is make the same noises. We may eventually talk to it again in the future. So now I'm going to go ahead and continue the Archon quest.
Hey, Dia!
Right on time.
Did we learn anything from the criminals?
We'll know any moment now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for a long time?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, him.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Of course.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Uh-huh, sure.
Come on, let's go inside.
I guess it'll load in, right?
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
I imagine she would be.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
She mastered it really quickly, too. Now she's just as terrifying as he is.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here, to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Mercy! Please, have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there's one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of King Deshret will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to shoulder.
We understand. We're sorry.
I'm sure they are.
I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about King Deshret's resurrection.
Yeah, Fatui or the Academia, sages, whatever.
Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in King Deshret's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread the word about King Deshret's resurrection, and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection process.
Where are the Village Keepers now?
I'm not sure.
Of course.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
Okay, sure. Do you have any idea who that mysterious person might be?
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself King Deshret's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu? What do you mean?
Well, something made Sino unhappy. Somebody lied.
Smooth.
Or...
Okay, speak.
Oh, never mind. He's just... Yeah, he's knocking them out so that way they can't hear.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of could be from the Academia.
I mean, that's not very hard to guess.
Some time ago, people from the Academia attempted to take the Village Keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part of our community. It strikes me now that this secretive character shares the same goal they had.
Which means it's highly likely that the Academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the Village Keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back? We aren't gonna let that happen.
Not the Academia again.
In Samara's city, Sataria also mentioned King Deshret's resurrection is just the Academia's misinformation campaign.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the Academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keepers.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Oh, we can talk to them very fast too, though.
You look worried. Thinking about the village keepers?
Yes. I'd look for them myself if I could. As members of our village, each one of them is very important to me.
You have a strong sense of belonging here. I guess I'm the opposite. Mercs are stray dogs, wherever they go.
Dia, don't say that. You can be a part of this community too.
Thanks. I'll let you know when I feel like joining.
Okay. What about Uncle Anpu?
I just hope everyone's all right.
And then what about these guys? Three Stooges? No? Sign
What
up?
scheme is the Academia brewing now?
A very good question. One that I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Oh, him.
Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway?
Eavesdropping.
Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
Go ahead, I won't stop you.
Never mind. Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Obviously.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere. Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us time to think.
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
That's true.
Yeah, you're all talk!
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
Huh.
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
So you're saying we can find new info from someone we've already spoken to?
Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived.
I didn't notice that, but okay.
The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the Mad Scholars.
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with what goes on at night.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
We're on it!
Indeed we are. Where do we have to go? Not too far away. Oh, we've got to knock on the door.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
We'll have to make it that simple.
May I call you Traveler?
Sure thing. Hi, Miss Shawnee.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No.
Why's that?
Because it'll only result in conflict.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best I can.
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Speaking of which, the radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Probably.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
Huh.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
Weird.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Could you make out where the sounds were coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
And nobody thought to go investigate it?
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Sure it has. We need to check out that hospital.
Yeah, let's go!
Okay, so there isn't a teleporter necessarily next to it, but there is one right here. Okay, so we've got to go through here. And there's a Sealy. Hopefully it goes in this direction. It does. I'll follow it to wherever it's going. Which probably isn't too far from here. Yeah, it's right there, right near where those eremites are. I've been in this area before. I remember finding a Dendroculus over here.
Good to me.
Defeat these guys while waiting for that Sealy to get to the point. There you go. Seriously? Good. Gimme.
Collecting rare and
I'll come
exquisite
back to
treasures.
those.
Yes,
There.
this seems suitably sophisticated.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten. An ideal place to hide people.
Some hilly churls, huh?
Monsters, watch out!
I mean, they aren't that big of a deal. I'm surprised that Paimon would ever be surprised by hilly churls at this point. There you go.
My apologies.
They're not dropping items, so that must mean that they're related to the quest. Where's the final one? Oh, there it is. I was like, I couldn't find it anywhere. I knew it had to be around here somewhere. Enemy reinforcements coming. Oh, a big guy. Nope. It's funny, I ran right into the path of that.
Take flight. Sakura swirl.
Here, take this.
Stabilize.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. Darn it. Here, take this. Freeze. And now I win, right? Unless there's more reinforcements. In which case... Okay, no.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
What were you even expecting?
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, you know, something like that. He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
Sure.
This is the one.
Oh. Neat. I'm glad that he activates so that way I wouldn't have to.
Let's go in and take a look.
Sounds like a plan. You carefully search the abandoned hospital. There must be some kind of secret room.
Hey, we haven't found Squat.
Use
Are
your...
you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Use your elemental sight, Aether.
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then...
What? He's just gonna sit down and read his book?
I'm taking a break.
Sure.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
Uh-huh.
What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya.
Yeah, I figured as much.
How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to read a book once in a while either. Maybe it's time to spread your wings and become learned.
Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those annoying grown-ups who go around nagging people to focus on their studies.
The more you learn, the more money you can earn to support me.
Hey, what gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for Paimon?
Isn't that what I'm doing now?
Oh, right. Okay then. Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be floating around in the ocean somewhere. Thank you.
Uh-huh. You're welcome. Huh. Nighttime already? Although I don't know why it's lingering so much on the sky.
Paimon's getting so sleepy.
What's that noise?
What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Sure, just break the wood.
Something is off about the interior here.
So, is there another barrier? Yeah.
As I thought. There's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Sounds like a plan. Oh? Oh, they want us to search around here? Okay, so there's something over here, which I'll activate here in a second. There we go. That's activated. And there should be two more somewhere around here. I have a feeling that they'll... Okay, there's one right there. I probably gotta defeat the Eremites around it. That or I've gotta do them in specific order. Either way, we'll find out in a bit. Oh. There we go. What in the world is that? What is that?
Allow me.
Oh, it's one of those types of enemies. It's a geotype of them. What they're called? Grounded geotoon? Huh.
Take flight.
And enemy reinforcements. Okay. Not a big deal.
Whirling snow.
Although I am a little bit annoyed that this one isn't going any further that way. Darn you.
Embrace the ice.
Yeah, take this. Here.
Covenant of the Deep. Allow me.
There we go.
My apologies.
Now I can have him do that. And there's probably another one way over here somewhere. Oh, there it is, all the way at the very top of the building back there. I can't get out from this mode here with Ayaka for some reason. I've got to waste my stamina. There we go, finally. That was very weird. Okay, where are the enemies? Oh, it's just a bunch of scorpions. And one of those dragon things. Okay. Go to the lower level of the hospital now. Which was through here before, right? Ah, I'm getting stuck on stuff. Yeah, you gotta drop down in there. Use ancient key to open the old cabinet. Huh, I wonder if we'll find that in this place. We probably will. Maybe. Emergency notice. Patient Abbas. Male, 23 years old. Mole on the left side of forehead. And left-handed. While his condition remains very serious, survival will be difficult without professional medical care. The patient's survivability, once found, immediately inform. Don't give up. Stay positive. All beings are under the watchful eye of the divine, so don't ever give up. The rest of the document has been rendered unreadable by weathering. I'm going to switch back in Venti. This week's meals. Keep a balanced diet, rest regularly, and maintain a good mood. Monday, minty bean soup. Ta chin, lunch. Curry shrimp. Pani puri, dinner. Tuesday, salad. Biryani, lunch. Fish with cream sauce, potato boat, dinner. Wednesday, shakshuka, whatever. Bean cake, lunch. The remaining sections are blank. I wonder why they think people care about this stuff. I don't even know why I read it. Anyways. What's this? There seems to be the darkened remains of a stem inside the vase. It was probably used to hold flowers. The words "for Avin" are at the bottom of the bottle. It seems to have been a gift to someone named Avin. Weird.
Look! There's someone over there!
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
So is this one of them that went missing?
Wait.
Wait, what?
You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
Oh, really?
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So, how did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Yeah. Yep. That guy. The Aramite guy who went mad.
Oh! Now that you mention it, they're acting the same way!
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the Academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia.
All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago.
Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises.
Sounds about right for the sages.
Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret,
and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Paimon doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process.
Of course.
Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Paimon's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars had made contact with the divine consciousness in the forest. That's what the Academia is after. It's also safe to assume that this knowledge has something to do with the Fatui, the Doctor, and also the Balladeer. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the Balladeer into a god.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
The Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the Academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want.
Of course he does.
The Divine Knowledge Capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motivations. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
So what do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Okay, sure. So we've got to go back to the village chief's house and meet up with everybody else. But I'll do that in the next video. I do want to see this very fast. There's a name inscribed on this bowl, Hakim. What about this over here? If there weren't crooked carvings of Arbaz, Abbas, and Sugar Jar on them, it would have been difficult to imagine that this dirty clay jar was ever used to store sugar or black. About dusty tableware. There's a name inscribed on this bowl, Avin. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some wishes. Ooh, a copy of Razor, nice. So a copy of Razor and a 4-star weapon. I'm going to make some more wishes here. I can make a total of, what, 3 more? Really? I'm kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually very shocked right now, and pretty happy too. Cool, I got Nahida. Okay then, so let's add those
Where do you want to
constellations for Razor. Okay, there's one, and this will complete his constellation completely. And let's check out Nahida very fast. She uses that one type, catalyst weapon or whatever, to fight, so that's neat. I'll have to build her up because she'll be my Dendro Element 5-star, I guess. But that'll have to happen over time.
If you'd like to see
nice to get her.
Tourist spots.
And
I have
now,
a few references.
there's one more thing I want to do before I stop. I just want to do one of these challenges for the adventure trials. So, Branch Master Cyrus of Mondstadt has of the Mondstadt Adventurers Guild has prepared plenty of training challenges to help hone the minds and bodies of rookie adventurers. Nevertheless, he is not sure how hard these challenges are exactly, or whether those new recruits can actually pass. So he's entrusted you with the work of testing these trials. What are the rewards? Okay, so the rewards are for just completing the challenges, essentially. Makes sense. Event details. Sequential Trial 1. Knock the slimes into the vine goals by triggering the overloaded reaction with Yanfei's and Glee's attacks to score points. During the challenge, all party members cannot use their elemental bursts. Challenge 2, Smash and Bash. Use Razor's attack to break the explosive rocks to score points. During the challenge, all party members will constantly recover elemental energy. Challenge 3, Shield Breaker. Use Kazuha's elemental skill and elemental burst to break the enemy's shields and directly defeat enemies. During the challenge, all party members will receive a cooldown reduction and will constantly regenerate HP. So, do you do like all three at once? Huh. Anyways, let's start. I already read all that before. There we go. So this is like a mini game, which should be interesting. Now the question is which character should I use for this? I'm not sure. Where are they? Oh, there we go. Let's do this. Cool. So I don't even have to really, yeah, I don't even have to worry too much about fighting them. It's just a matter of knocking them into the goals. This is kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Don't know how to feel about this. But hey, may as well knock it this way. Okay, cool. Kind of reminds me of that one game, Rocket League, except, you know, not as hard. I played... That game is so weird. I don't know if I played it for free at the time or what, but... did those block you or something? I think that's what the goal of those things is. To block you from making goals. Not that it really matters. Okay, cool. Let's go that way, since it just makes more sense to go that way. I wonder how Klee does here. Okay, she doesn't do too bad. Oh wow, she can even knock him pretty far. Cool. Now I should switch back to Yanfei, knock him the rest of the way into the goal. And only a few more left. They give you a lot of time for this. And may as well knock this one in there. I wonder if the big ones give you more? Great. Waiting. There we go. Good. Yeah, the big ones do give you more. And now there's this one, where I have to break the blocks or whatever with Razor. So current total time elapsed is 2 minutes and 3 seconds, it says in the upper right. And I guess that the idea is just to hit the yellow blocks by breaking the ones below it. Could be wrong. We'll find out in a second. Yeah. So just keep going at it like this, and eventually things will work out. Maybe. You know what? May as well keep going like this. Yeah, that worked out pretty well, all things considered. And I can use my elemental burst, right? Yeah, sounds like a plan. I should probably continue using my elemental burst. Whenever I get the chance. I'm getting closer. I think that this would probably be more fun with other players if they were competing against each other. Even then, I don't know. Sometimes the minigames that they come up with for this game are so weird. Oh wow. And this challenge is completed. That one was definitely a lot more simple. So Shield Breaker, the idea is to break the shields and directly defeat the enemies with Kazuha. This is going to be interesting, especially since there are going to be enemies like the Abyss Mages and stuff. And here we are. Break the opponent's shields to defeat them. So, obviously, I'm supposed to use the,
Time to go.
the elements to my advantage. There we go. Here, take this. No! Why are you disappearing on me?
Wind strike. Time to go.
No! Darn you. Well, that was easy. That was the easiest yet. Let's claim our prize, and then I'll be stopping. And claim. Cool. Now, as for the other one, I'll probably do that, well, I'll most likely be doing that in the next video along with this one. But, anyways, yeah, this is where I'm stopping. The next time I play, hopefully I'll figure out what's going on with the Aranara and be able to continue that. And then, of course, I'll also continue the Archon quest at that time, too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.